Hey everybody, it is Dan. Just wanted to pop on here and answer some questions that have been left in the comment section over the years. Um, Now, I must admit, some of these questions are super old, and I apologize for not answering them sooner. It really sucked to be locked out of this account. Um, some of them I just missed. So I figure even if the original followers that ask these questions aren't still on YouTube or whatever, these will help somebody, right? So better late than never. Here we go. Hey, how often did you shave when you first started getting facial hair? And how often do you have to now? What is your shaving process like from beginning to end, if you don't mind answering? Not at all. That's a great question. So, when I first started, I started like right away before I was even on T. I thought, like many people do, that if I shaved my face more, perhaps it would like speed up the hair evolution process. Now I know that that's like not really a thing. Maybe it was like a psychosomatic thing. Maybe I was manifesting. I don't know. I liked it. It made me feel more secure in who I was, and I wanted to just do more things, more guy things. So I think I shaved like once or twice a week to start, and even just like having the rougher texture, it made me feel really good. So then, now a lot has obviously changed. I get a 5 o'clock shadow by the end of the day. If I don't shave every day or every other day, it can start to get out of control. Um, so yeah, it is wonderful. I'm not gonna lie. My shaving process from start to finish, I either take a warm shower and I let the warm water get all over my face to kind of soften my skin and loosen up the beard hairs. I make sure I wash my beard really good with like shampoo and conditioner. And I let the conditioner kind of sit in there for a while. Then I kind of comb all this down and get it out of the way. I put a warm washcloth over my cheeks and over like my neck. Sometimes I'll do it like one section at a time, going from top to bottom. And I use Gillette Sensitive Skin shaving cream. And then I just have like a shtick razor. I use the one that has I think it's called the Quattro, and it has an edging blade on the back because I don't like a straight razor. So I will apply the shaving cream kind of like in a circular motion like that. You could get one of those bowls with like the fancy brush if you wanted to. I've never done that. I mean, might be fun to be fancy, but you could do that, and I think that does get the lather in a little bit better than your own hand, right? But I'm not that fancy. So I just rubbed it in, and you don't want like a ton, but you don't want like nothing. You want something in the middle. And then I just kind of like pull my skin down and shave down. If I were to shave up, not only would I be like getting this going towards my eye, which that's not great, but also for me it gives me razor burn. I know a lot of guys shave up because it's closer. I can't do that. But yeah, I shave down and I follow the line of my beard, and usually what's good rule of thumb is about an inch or like 2 fingers, depending on how big your hands are, from your Adam's apple up, or where your Adam's apple would be. You don't want to go too up high or too low, because that kind of doesn't look natural, in my opinion. If like by my cheek, I flip it over and use the edging blade to kind of get this line more crisp. And then so afterwards, I put on aftershave, or I put on like a non-scented lotion like Lubriderm or CeraVe or something like that. The aftershave I like is just Old Spice, or sometimes I use Corum aftershave, but that's hard to find nowadays. It's old school stuff. So I hope that answers your question. Next one. Do you remember how long you waited before you started massaging your scars? Ooh, I think I waited like maybe 6 to 8 weeks. I might have waited too long, but I didn't want to like disturb the tissue too quick. I also didn't want to like stretch my scars somehow. I started with silicone strips to kind of like enforce the scars, and it felt good. Like I had something there to protect them from stretching. And silicone's good for wound healing and scar management. I tried Mederma. I found that to be expensive and a waste of time for me. I didn't like the smell. It made my skin sticky, and it didn't seem to change things very much. So my favorite thing that I recommend to everyone is this Palmer's Cocoa Butter with vitamin E. It has to be the one in the tub because the actual lotions are really thin. This one has vitamin E, and I believe it has silicone in it, and this is used for pregnant people's stretch marks. So it's made to it's made to decrease scars and hydrate and strengthen the skin, and it is cheap. You can get it at Walmart. It smells like cookies, and it doesn't seem to stain my clothes. So highly recommend this. It is wonderful. I've even recommended this to people that have surgery scars in other places to just get rid of them. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. Another question, just wondering how long on tea before your beard came in that full? Well, part of it is genetics, part of it is patience, and the other part is age. So I mean, you can see on my channel, I think my beard started to come in fuller around 2 or 3 years, but for the longest time, the mustache and the chin would not connect. Like, it just would not connect, and I felt, like Simba and the Lion King and the in-between, just kind of walking around looking goofy. I didn't look that bad. I just, I was like, why won't it connect? And so I asked my dad about it, and he's like, you have to wait until you're in your mid to late 30s, definitely past 30 for it to connect. And you know what? He was right. It was in my 30s that it started to connect. I just turned 38. And so it's really like luscious now. I'm so happy with my beard. So, I've been on tea for 16 years. And so like the longer you're on, minutely it'll change. And it really just depends. Everybody is so different. But yeah, the fullness, at least 3 years, at least. I was really happy with it at 6 or 7 years, and then, it eventually connected. Next question, you said your T levels jumped from 300 to 800. Was that due to an increase in the injections, or did it happen after your histo? I ask because in a few weeks, I get my histo and then start T. They're starting me on 0.5 mils of 200 every 2 weeks, which doesn't seem like much. Doc says I won't need as much since I'm starting after the histo. Well, everybody is so different. When I was talking about my T levels jumping, I don't know if I had my histo yet. I think it was just being on T for a while, it was starting to accumulate. And in all males, HRT or not, your level can fluctuate every month a little bit, depending on hydration levels and just, I don't know, a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, you're right. It is common for people after they have their histo to not need as much tea. In my case, I thought that would be the case, and it really hasn't changed that much. I think for a while I dropped down to like 0.8 every 2 weeks of the 200 milligrams. I know when I started tea, I did a really, really slow progression, which I think I talked about it on my earlier videos. I found another guy who is a singer, and he recommended a slow titration up, and I looked the other day, I could not find his video, or the person. I couldn't figure it out. But anyway, I'm glad that I talked about it. Maybe that'll help somebody else. But yeah, I went on a slow progression up, and that's a good idea, because if you go too fast, it could be too much for you too quick. The beginning parts of being on tea is already disorienting and dysregulating enough that I wouldn't want to go too fast. And it preserves your voice and your vocal cords because they thicken and stretch during the beginning stages. There's a lot of voice cracking and stuff. And I did not want to risk my singing voice, which, yes, my singing voice is not as good as it was pre-T, but I still can sing. Part of what I'm going through right now affects my voice, and I might have something from my shoulder that's messing with my throat, so it's not even as good as it was right now, but I'm hoping it'll get back. But yeah, to each their own with the histo. I hope that it went really well for you and you didn't, need as much as other people, but hey. Next question. How long would you say it took for you to feel comfortable in the new dynamics with girls in the dating world? Ooh, I know that before I was on T, I was dysphoric, and it was really hard, especially before top surgery, to date and feel like me. After I did top surgery and been on T for a while, it got a lot better. I felt more confident in my presentation and my body, and I've dated straight girls. I've dated bisexual and pansexual girls, and men, and if the person likes you for who you are, they're more likely to not care. A lot of people really don't seem to care at all. There are some people that aren't down with dating trans people, and that's totally fine. It might be hard, but everybody has the right to date whoever they click with and whoever they're attracted to. In my case, in all the variations of people I've dated, it really hasn't been an issue. Either it's a new thing and they get used to it and find it's not really that different for them, or they really don't care. And they just, if they like me, then that's cool. Next question. Does being post everything ever make you go postal? Oh boy, that's a funny question. No. I am really thankful for my experience and to be able to transition. And the only thing that I don't like is what's happened to my hair on my head. I used to have really luscious, gorgeous hair, and I do miss that sometimes, but trade-off is worth it for me. And I mean, I got this beard and this body hair and this shape that I have, and I love it. So it's fine. Fair trade. Next question. You looked well-shaped, and I wonder if you were doing a lot of sport back then. Maybe still today. If you were, how long did you wait to exercise again? I'm guessing after surgery, like weight training. Yeah, I've always loved sports, hiking, camping, basketball, volleyball, weightlifting. And specifically before chest surgery, I did this push-up challenge with a couple of other guys I knew, and I was doing one push-up a day, adding another one each day, up to 100. And I did that right before top surgery. And when I went to my surgeon and had the surgery, he said, wow, because of your work on your chest, it was easy for me to follow along and find the anatomic, landmarks. And so that really did help me. I bet it would help others. So it was an advantage for me. And currently I don't work out because of my disabilities. It would make things worse, but I am in the process of getting through that, and I'm really hoping, especially when I figure out my shoulder, I can get back to it. I usually like to work out 3 times a week, and I do like various weightlifting, and I also like running or cycling or elliptical at least twice a week for 30 to 45 minutes. That's my ideal, or hiking in place of that. Last question. Oh, wait, how long did I wait to exercise? I waited I want to say about 8 to 12 weeks, because I didn't want to stretch my scars. Okay, last question. Why did you go for histo? My son seems indifferent to that step. Now he's 4 years on T and 1 year post-top surgery, and it seems like most FTM guys are happy to stop there. Why did you do the histo? Okay, I did it for a couple of reasons. One, back then, there wasn't much research about the effects of T long term on trans guys, and I was slightly worried about the possibility of some sort of reproductive cancer. That doesn't seem to be a thing, which is great. Also, I'm from New York State, and in order to change my birth certificate, at that time, they needed you to do top and bottom surgery. And that was really important to me to have all of my documents coinciding and lining up. Third, or the last thing, would be I felt very uncomfortable with my organs. I wanted no chance of pregnancy or anything like that. Like, that was just wrong, so I wanted to get it out for that too. So those are the questions that I found. If you have any other questions that you'd like me to address, please either message me or comment below. Thank you so much for the questions, you guys, and I hope to see you all soon. Thanks for watching. If you like this content, please subscribe. All right, bye.